Hey, this is Chuck, and you are listening to Fans with Bands, the podcast where we talk to the fans and the bands they dig about life, music, and whatever the hell else we want to talk about. Today on Fans with Bands, we're talking to a Rueful Noise. Check it out. Hey, this is Chuck with Fans with Bands, and I'm talking to Todd, Jennifer, and Nicholas of A Rueful Noise. How you guys doing?
Great.
We're great.
Awesome. I'm very happy to have you guys on the show. I really want to get into like the new music you guys are recording. I also have a question about one of the tunes on the EP. But first, how did you guys come up with the name A Rueful Noise? Because I love it.
Well, part of it came from scouring a Victorian literature book for interesting language, because that's what I do for a living, is essentially teaching literature. So just came up with a group of kind of random, interesting, kind of dark names, and it just kind of came together that way. So
Awesome.
it was kind of a little research project.
Yeah, it's very cool. And it does it's also cool because it fits the music. You know, when I listen to the EP, and I think it's just you just have the 3 songs out, right? Is that true? Or do you have more?
Yeah.
We have 2 covers out.
Okay.
Also, but yeah.
But in those 3 tunes, there's this, well, one, they're super catchy, but then they're also kind of dark and moody. That fits the name perfectly.
Oh, thank you.
But one question I had about the EP is that I love all 3 of those tunes, but the last one, I think it's the last one, Terminal Union. That tune is so cool because there's this kind of eruption of, I don't know, like rage or something in there. I was like, so what the hell? So I want to understand the story. Like, how did that tune come about? And maybe that evolves into like how you guys write music in general.
Sure.
Talk about our rage issues. Well, the tune came about because of I was writing a song, and Jenny will attest to this. I'm really slow at writing songs and slow at putting them together. So I'd been playing a couple of riffs just over and over, probably annoying the crap out of her. And she was like, "You need to turn that into a song." And I had no vocal ideas whatsoever with it. So she wrote some lyrics. She wrote the verses and the melody, the vocal melody, and we sort of arranged it. And as far as the yelling and screaming part, I wrote those just sort of as a counterpoint to what I thought she was doing and what I thought the music was doing. And it turned out we were trying to do like more harmonies, but it felt good that we had the 2 different voices on there.
Yeah.
With I sort of think of it as like 2 different perspectives on just a terrible relationship.
Yeah. Things not going particularly well.
And if I may interject, every time we play that live and Nicholas starts howling, I have to really concentrate because it makes me giggle so much. I'll throw up every time.
And I was also inspired. I do have to say this. I was inspired by Joe Hart from Jack Pine Snag, Todd's other band, Jack Pine Snag, and fun fact, I was the original bass player for Jack Pine Snag too. So,
oh, really?
He's a good friend of ours and a musical hero of mine. So I was definitely thinking about him when I was losing my shit in front of him.
Joe did our artwork as well for our album. Joe Hart did. So
okay, cool.
Very cool. He's a very, very talented artist and
awesome
as well. Yeah.
Very cool.
Hi, John.
We've got a fan. John's on here.
At least I remembered.
John, how you doing? It looks like you're enjoying the outdoors.
Yes, I'm out back.
Nice. So John, you kind of know the drill. Fans are allowed to ask questions. Do you have any questions for these guys?
Not at the moment. Hold on.
All right. No worries.
Swing of this.
All right. So, as you were describing that process, with Nicholas coming up with some riffs and trying to, is that typical? Is it where one of you comes up with an idea, then you bring it to the band to form it, or do someone comes up, here's the full-fledged thing, and then small tweaks, and we're done?
For right now, I mean, they won't accept my humming tunes that I come up with.
We're working on it, Todd.
Yeah.
It's hard to transcribe. Wow.
I did that once.
Yeah, for the most part, it's been pretty collaborative. There's been a couple
Yeah.
of songs. I think I brought one that I'd been playing for a long time, but it has changed since we've been playing it. So, yeah, I would say for the most part, none of the songs that we play are just the work of one person. So
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So, sort of along the lines of your origin, how did the band come together?
I will let you guys start this since you knew each other first.
okay,
So
so
Nicholas,
way,
yeah,
way back in the Audis.
yeah. Nicholas is one of my oldest friends, and this is our 6th band together.
I think 8th.
It's been a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Some of them are just like, one-off things, but
Yeah.
we've been playing together in a Misfits tribute band for 9 or 10 years or something like that.
No, it'd be 14 because we started in 2009.
Oh, right. Well, like 14 years and maybe 15 gigs.
Yeah.
But we played in a bunch of bands together. Mostly me playing bass. And then Jenny and I moved in together
Yes.
after other things happened. And we started playing music together, mostly during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Just hanging out with nothing to do.
Yeah.
Apartment.
Playing a lot of covers,
And so we started playing covers and we started writing music together. And we talked about doing a band after gigs were a thing. And we both knew Todd and thought of him as a great drummer.
That's a lie.
Sort of a good drummer. And so that's how it came
Awesome.
about.
And I have to interject to say that before Nicholas and I got together, I knew both of these guys as kind of, they're gonna blush at this, but as kind of like rock stars, in my opinions. And
Yeah.
just I adored both of their bands, both Jack Pine Snag and Hat Matter, and bands that Nicholas has been in. And so it was really, really wild to be part of that, to be able to be part of playing with these particular people, because I've always really admired them very greatly and still listen to their music. Like I was just listening to Jack Pine, just in Hat Matter not like 2 days ago. So it's hard to not think of them as still kind of in that rock star echelon kind of thing. So.
We also knew Jenny because she was in Scary Women. Great local band that we played with a bunch of times and loved to see.
Cool.
So
yeah,
it was a natural.
Yes.
Nice. So Nicholas, the band you were in before, that was Hat Matter?
The Hat Matter
right.
was one of the bands I was in most recently. Yeah, and that was sort of an indie rock band out of Lansing.
Cool.
I wasn't the front person. My buddy Isaac wrote all those songs, and he's an amazing musician and producer. But I was sort of the guy who played weird noises, played keyboards and some guitars, and just made synth noises.
But he did them all at once on stage. So he'd be playing the guitar and then playing the keyboard and like playing a horn, and so it was pretty insane.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Because I was definitely familiar with Jack Pine Snag, because that band blew me away when I saw him at Fuzz Fest. I was like, Jesus Christ, what is this? It was so awesome.
I think we really need to add Jeremy to the story also.
Oh, Jeremy Porter?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Because he kind of plays an integral part.
Yeah, that's a very good point. When we started playing together, our friend Jeremy Porter, who's in Jeremy Porter and the Tucos, plays in Detroit quite a bit. He had heard Nicholas and I playing together because we would put videos out on Facebook, and he had kind of encouraged Nicholas and I to put something together and said, if you do some originals, he'd be willing to produce it and put a record together.
Oh,
and that really, I'm really glad you said that. That really galvanized us, I think, to put this group together and to really come together as a band. And so yeah,
cool.
And Jeremy produced our EP.
Okay.
Was integral to the way it came together, and so he's a very important part of it.
And the drummer of the Tucos, Gabriel, he's the one who recorded us.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Super cool band.
Awesome.
Super cool guys.
Yeah, I've not heard of them, so I'm gonna have to check that out. That sounds good. That's what I love about talking, to people. It's like, they, rattle off like a couple different bands. I'm like, holy shit, I gotta make a note.
They're kind of road dogs. They'll go out on tour like, 3 or 4 times a year, and they're just playing all the time. They put on a great show.
Yeah.
Kind of like more roots rock, I would say.
Yeah.
But Jeremy's been in a million bands over the past 30 years. And the first time I met him, I was like, he looks like he could be like the ill-gotten son of Paul Westerberg. I don't remember who else I accused him of looking like.
He looks like a rock star. Everything about Jeremy just kind of screams rock star.
Paul Westerberg is Isaac Brock from Mouse.
He's a lovely guy.
Cool.
He and Gabe both, for sure.
Very cool. Yeah. So are they involved with the new album that you guys are recording?
No, we're actually recording with another band member of Todd's in the Jack Pine Snag, Jason Rodell, and he's basically doing all the recording in the mixing and producing for us this time.
Yeah.
And it's really convenient. We were thinking about trying to find a studio, and he just came over and said, we can do it all here. So very convenient that you don't have to move a ton of amps around and stuff.
Yeah. Around space. It's really nice.
Nice. So
exceptionally talented. So he's
So he did the last he's done a ton of records, but he did the last Jack Pine Snag EP, the blue one. And then he did the Scary Women album. And he's done his most recent project. He recorded his own other band, Animal Crawler,
who you're doing.
Oh yeah.
So he's just a great guy to work with too.
Yep.
Awesome. Very relaxed.
Yep.
Very cool.
He mastered the new Bloody Butterflies album that's going to be coming out.
Oh, awesome. Very cool.
Yes.
Excellent. So what's the status of your are you guys done recording? Is it mixed and ready? Where's it at?
Well, I mean, Todd was a rock star, and he knocked out the drums in 2 sessions.
And I already hate the drum tracks.
No,
they sound
really great.
Yeah.
And then we've been working on guitars, and I've got probably, I would say, 3/4 of the guitars done now. Hopefully, crossing my fingers. I want to keep adding stuff, because Jason, he captures really good performances and really good tones every time I listen to the playback. I just think, oh, that sounds great. It'd be killer if there was this other part too.
Oh man.
He's really great at capturing that. So, but I have to cut myself off. There's just going to be a couple of odds and ends left, and then we'll be doing her bass parts, and then we'll do the vocals, and hopefully it'll be coming out. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, right now, what I'm learning with the Bloody Butterflies album is that the turnaround for vinyl is about 4 to 5 months.
Oh, wow.
So if we finish everything and we get it mastered in a relatively easy time, probably November or December.
Okay. So you guys are going to do vinyl then?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
And John, you guys are doing vinyl?
Yeah, we're doing vinyl.
Oh man, that's awesome. When is that
Good.
coming out?
Yes.
Never.
We're waiting on the pressing plant. Everything else is in line.
Oh.
So maybe June, July.
Oh, awesome. Wow. That's fantastic. Wow.
Sweet.
I knew you guys were recording, but I didn't realize.
Still records.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Excellent.
we recorded with Ryan from No Skull. So it's
Nice.
like all done locally here. Him and Jason had their hands in it.
Nice. Very nice. Awesome. So roughly we're saying, maybe end of the year for the album to come out. I know you guys have got shows coming up. Any that you're like, well, you're probably excited for all of them, but is there any particulars you're like, oh yes, this is gonna be great?
Well, we're playing with Bloody Butterflies, for instance. We're playing with John's band and No Skull, who we just mentioned. It's a show that's gonna be really fun. A
That's in
really fun Lansing show.
July, right?
In July, yes, I believe.
We're playing up in Oscoda. That'll be different.
Oh,
Yep.
we're at Nascoda.
The Edelweiss.
Yeah, I don't.
So
Yeah.
what happened was we played a show last year, year and a half ago at Flint City Hard Cider.
Yeah.
It was with Nuke and the Night Shift.
Yeah, I've heard of them, but I've not
And,
Yeah.
actually seen them.
They're fun.
a friend of ours, Heavy J from the band Ouch Me Ars, he's from there, and he said, "Say hi to all the band for me." So I started talking to them, and they're really nice guys, and they enjoyed us. And the drummer said, "Hey, we have a festival up there every year. Would you guys like to play?" We couldn't that year. And he said, "Well, I want to get you guys up here." So he said, "Hey, we're finally doing some shows at this bar up there. Would you be interested in coming up?" Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, great. So when is that? Do you know? I could
Uh,
probably.
Yeah.
Is that July? I think it might be July.
Oh, I was gonna say because I'll be in Nascoda the end of May.
Yeah, July
Ah.
22nd.
July 22nd.
Yep.
Oh, July 22nd. Oh, that's a bad day, guys. That's beer.
Sorry.
Beer Fest in Ipsy, man.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Priority.
We're also
Yeah.
planning a dispensary opening
In
in
Ann
Ann
Arbor.
Arbor.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
With Jack Pine Snag.
June
Yeah.
10th.
Yeah.
It's
June
at
10th.
Winewood Organics.
Yeah.
Oh, I know where that is.
Yeah.
I
Should be
drove
fun.
past it. It's off Maple Road, I think. Maple and Stadium. All right.
Really excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very
Yeah, we're
cool.
excited about everything we've got on the book. Yeah, and we haven't practiced together in such a long time because of the recording process. So
Couple
it's
months,
like
yeah.
just getting together, just the three of us to play is just going to be fun since we've
Yeah.
been isolated recording and whatnot. So yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So, what this is a question for each of you. What was there a particular person, a band, something that got you into music, playing an instrument, being a musician, and did that same person also like influence you to want to be on stage in a band? So let's start with Jennifer.
Yes, definitely. I think my first major influence was Natalie Merchant. Because initially I didn't play an instrument either until Scary Women when I was in that band. I don't know how long ago that was, but I've only recently kind of in the past like 7 years or so started playing an instrument. So initially I was very, very much into Natalie Merchant as an influence and Michael Stipe for sure. Once I started playing an instrument, Joe Laley from Fugazi, for instance, was like, "Oh my God!" Just we wound up meeting him actually, and that was just amazing. So, so I had different influences now that I've actually picked up an instrument. So, but Natalie Merchant was definitely one of my go-to. I just sang her albums for just endlessly. So, in REM, I'm just a massive fan. So,
awesome.
Yeah,
Nicholas.
Well, I don't really know who interested me the most in like learning guitar. I will say there were a lot of bands. I mean, the first band that I ever really I was really interested in like being in a band like that was probably Blind Melon when they came out with their first record. The best thing ever, and like I love Shannon Hoon's voice. Like he was like a huge idol for me. Um, and it was a while. Like I would listen to a bunch of hippie music, a lot of jam bands, and the cool thing about I don't really listen to that stuff anymore. But the cool thing about it is just like they kind of had this attitude of like, well, anybody can do it, and just get
Yeah.
on stage and improvise or whatever. And that's certainly true, but also a lot of it sounds like crap, especially when you're like a teenager and you don't know what to do with your instrument. But
Yeah.
as far as like a songwriting thing goes, I would say like my biggest influences were Elliott Smith, and Richard Buckner.
Oh,
So,
nice.
both just as influences, like guys that didn't necessarily make it huge, but they wrote honest songs and they just did it their way. They didn't necessarily sound like everybody else. So,
Yeah, nice. And Todd.
I guess I'm one of those people that was really lucky to, without knowing that, growing up around a lot of music. And my cousin Gary Popart, he was the first drummer I knew, and I would always sneak down in the basement and play on the drums. So I always had like a little bit of an interest in it because of him, and it just kind of took off, and it helped when I moved down here from up north because there's an actual music scene.
Yeah.
It's easier to immerse yourself.
Where were you coming from?
Lake City.
Lake City.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of living in Michigan. We all
Yeah,
have
yeah.
that.
No, it's northeast of Cadillac.
Okay. Yeah. I think there was a brewery up there, maybe. Sounds familiar. But
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, it was hard to do bands up there, and when I moved down here, I just immediately jumped at the chance. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's, like you said, a little bit more. Well, that's a question for you guys. Do you think that Lansing, because I felt like when I was at Oigs Fest recently, and other times I've been at the Avenue, and even at Max, I always felt like Lansing had a pretty decent music scene. It's, I honestly think it's a little better than Ann Arbor, which isn't, well, I was going to say it's isn't saying much, but it's much better than Ann Arbor because but anyway, do you feel that the music scene is between the time that you guys started playing music in that area to now? Do you think it is doing better, or is it kind of status quo?
it's status quo right now because I think we all agree we need at least another venue in town, and it's been hard.
Yeah.
And John can attest to this too. We love the Avenue. That's home. Max used to be home. Doesn't feel like home anymore.
they're doing shows again, but we're kind of taking a wait and see attitude about it.
I'm personally boycotting right now.
But
about that.
the Lansing scene sort of ebbs and flows. Right now, I'm actually feeling like, I still know a lot of people playing, but there's a bunch of bands that I'm seeing names and I don't necessarily recognize them and who's in them, and that's a great thing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
exciting. Next weekend, not this coming weekend, but next weekend is Stoop Fest, and there's a bunch of bands that not all of them are local, but there's a bunch of bands that I've never heard and never had a chance to see, and I'm hoping to see some of them too. And just meeting new people and networking, and there's a couple of house venues that I've never been to as well.
Oh, cool. Nice.
So there's always new things happening. It's just a matter of like putting your ear to the ground and figuring out where
And
they
to
are.
add to Nicholas's point, it's my one complaint about Lansing has always been, it always astounded me that the students wouldn't cross 127 shows, because
Yeah.
they don't have a music venue in East Lansing or by MSU except for Lansing. And for longest time,
Makes sense.
that's the one really, really cool thing about the Avenue is the Avenue got students to cross 127. They
Yeah.
discovered that there was this cool place and they don't charge cover for shows. They could just go, they could eat really good ramen, have some drinks, watch some bands.
Yeah.
And I would add too that I think our community is extremely supportive. It's a very, very supportive and generous community across the board. At least I found that as I was first playing, when however long ago, when I was very nervous starting to play bass in particular and playing live for the first time in a very, very long time, since my 20s. And it was just a very giving community of people, I think, across the board, and very supportive of new bands, like Nicholas was saying. And it's just I don't know, it's a community for sure.
Yeah. And
It's a definite community, and I love it here.
yeah, and to other scenes, it's always been weird because we've been lucky enough to self-sustain.
Yeah.
But now it's with just the Avenue, and then we got Displaced Manor, which is a really cool house venue.
Super cool, man.
And then bands even playing Max. That's helping some, but it's in a way it helps force bands to go other places.
Yeah.
Because you can't get a show for a little while because it's so booked. You have to go play Grand Rapids, which every band should go play Grand Rapids.
Which is great.
Every band should go play Detroit. I would say every band should play Ann Arbor, but where are you going to play in Ann Arbor, Chuck?
Right. I know. See, that's the problem. I mean, there's the Blind Pig, but it's limited. Although they do.
Kalamazoo has such a great house.
Yeah.
Venue. So
there is a new place though. I've yet to go, but I keep hearing about
not
it.
The Maidstone, is it? The Maidstone's not bad, right? We're not bringing that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be
Another
another little divey place called the Regal Beagle.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
we
that.
heard
Yeah.
Yeah. I've not been there yet.
Is that Ypsilanti?
Yeah, yeah. Like
Okay.
I think down the road from where the Maidstone used to be.
Okay.
And I heard that somebody I think played there or went there to eat because the guy, whoever runs it, does barbecue. So
Yeah,
nice.
I've been following them.
Fun.
They look like they have a really good menu.
yeah. So I might just go there to eat, But I keep looking to see if there's any shows I want to go to because I gotta check it out. And it would be
I want to go
close.
there and I want to try getting a show there. And I know that we've been talking about getting Jack Pine down there too to play with Booback one last time before they call it quits.
Oh yeah.
We like a Rueful Noise is trying to get Booback back to Lansing so we could play with them before they call it quits.
Yeah.
Come here, Fergus.
We've got a cat who's really wanting to join the interview here.
All right, awesome.
But now he's laughing.
Now,
Oh.
he's attention starts. But,
Yeah.
one cool place that we played a couple of times in a region that we never really thought about before, but we've played at this place in Melvindale, downriver,
Parts and Labor.
called Parts and Labor.
Oh yeah.
And
That's another
really
place.
cool bar. The sound guy knows his stuff.
Yep.
They have good food, good drinks. Like we've had a great time both times we've been there.
Yeah.
And
Very cool bar.
so we're always into finding little places like that,
Yeah, that's another place I still haven't been to. I don't know why. I just haven't.
You go to the Rockery?
Why not?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay. Well, no, the reason I asked was Justin, who is I think he's either the owner or the manager of Parts and Labor. He used to run the Rockery in Wyandotte.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. The name is familiar.
Wherever he goes, it's renowned for their grilled cheese.
Excellent. Gotta love a good grilled cheese, man. So, John, did you have any questions?
I was going to ask Nicholas something. Where'd he go?
Oh, he
Oh,
ran
Oh, here he
away.
is. He's back.
I was looking for the cat. I didn't find him.
Oh, very good.
The first I saw of you, Nicholas, was playing bass for Jack Pine. Were you always a guitar guy right from the beginning?
Not really. I mean, I started playing guitar and I took lessons. But it's the age-old thing. Like most of the guys that I knew that played when I was growing up or when I was in high school were better than me at guitar. So I got a bass. Not the same thing for every bass player in the world, but that's how it was for me. So I ended up playing bass on most of the bands I was in for a long time, including the Hat Matter. I started out as the bass player, and then I quit, and then I came back and got a promotion. So
Yeah, I saw Hat Matter a couple of times, but I couldn't attest to who was in it because there were like 8 guys on stage or something.
yeah, and it was always like, we'd have a bass player for like 2 months, and then we'd trade up for somebody younger. Younger and sexier.
I swear to God, I saw a 12-year-old once.
Well, we'd take them on tour and they wouldn't make it through. What do you want to do?
So if you guys could sit down and have a beverage with anybody, alive or dead, who would that be, and what would you like to talk to them about?
Holy crap.
Let's start with Todd.
I answered this one when you interviewed Bloody Butterflies, and I still stick with it. Jack Kerouac.
All right. So, for anybody that didn't listen to when we talked about Bloody Butterfly, I always struggle with that. Bloody Butterflies. What would you like to talk to Jack about?
It depends on what era of Jack. He got so conservative at the end, it changed his view on everything pretty much.
Yeah.
When he was younger, it was just like, why, if I was going to ask him, it would be when he was younger, ask him kind of like what the ultimate freedom was to him, as far as like just getting out and escaping and seeing, just going on any kind of adventure.
Yeah.
Like he did. I was always slightly jealous of that. Do it so.
Nicholas.
Oh gosh, put me on the spot. Any person, alive or dead. Well, just off the top of my head, and this isn't so unattainable because he's alive and thriving, but Bob Mould.
Oh yeah.
I find him very, very inspirational. Like everything that he's done and how long he's been doing it. Jenny and I have been lucky to see him a couple of times.
That was one of our first band field trips.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, both solo sets and full band sets. And he tires me out just watching him. And he's so intense.
Yeah.
And so loud, and he's
energetic.
He's so energetic and just
strong
frankly, no offense to anybody present, but he's an old man. You'd think he'd be calming down a little bit. He's put out some more easygoing music, but at the same time, like, geez, wow! If I could keep up with him, I would be amazed. But my question for him would just be like, how do you do it? How do you do it, Bob? And so like learning a bunch of guitar stuff from him, because he's great.
Yeah.
He's a great songwriter, great guitarist, great singer.
Awesome.
Oh.
Jennifer.
Well, I'm stuck between a really dorky answer and a better answer than that. My dorky answer would probably be Virginia Woolf.
All right.
Author, just because her work is so enigmatic and I just adore her. But the more attainable goal would be maybe Kathleen Hanna, because we're seeing her Monday.
Oh, all right.
I would love to talk to Kathleen Hanna one day and just ask her kind of similar question, like how more so just how she channeled as much rage as she did on stage. Like I want to know what mechanism that was that she channeled that made her as powerful in Bikini Kill as she is on stage, and as I suspect she will be when we see her Monday too, just because she was also a really, really big inspiration for me. It kind of went from very pretty kind of Nellie Merchant type of stuff and like Harriet Wheeler, and then suddenly discovering Riot Girl, and it was like, holy shit. And that was I was like 36 or 37 or something when I discovered Riot Girl, and it was like changed everything for me. It made me pick up an instrument, changed my singing style.
Started hating men.
Watch out, pedestrians.
Kind of,
I've seen her go and bug John at FBC and throw stuff.
So I'd like to, if I could sit down and have a conversation with her, I'd like to know how she managed to work up the guts to show that much passion and anger and just venom on stage. I just think that's amazing. So
When does she have? She's got like an autoimmune disorder too, doesn't she?
she has
Some kind of Lyme disease.
Lyme disease, I believe.
Yeah.
She-
That's
yeah.
gotta be tough to.
Yeah, but if you watch the documentary Punk Singer, you find a great deal about that.
Sure.
So yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So I think, Todd, you mentioned that there are band field trips.
Yeah, every once in a while. Yeah, we're going on one here in a couple of days again too.
Yes.
Awesome.
Go see Sunny Day Real Estate and the Appleseed Cast again.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sunday Day Real Estate's touring? I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah, we saw them back in September.
Yeah, they did a reunion tour.
Yeah,
Without Nate Mendel.
yep.
Wow.
He's busy with Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The guitarist is back, and
They
it was
were
great. They
amazing.
were amazing, and they did circles for an encore. And as soon as they got to one of the breaks in the song, the lights went out, and at St. Andrews,
St. Andrews lost all power.
That's how the show ended.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Happy if I can see
Yes.
them play that song live and
Get
without
the whole way
lights.
through
Yeah,
it.
Yeah. Jeremy Nick was like, we have to do this one for you guys. You're gonna love it.
Yep.
And they busted into it and then just
Right before the
Yeah.
chorus,
went out.
lights went out.
Oh,
They kind of stood on stage and
Well-
they were really confused, and everyone was really confused. And then like 15 minutes, a guy came out from St. Andrews, came out with a bullhorn that was about like this
Yeah, it was
big.
a tiny
Tiny
megaphone.
microphone. It was like, okay, you're going out after you. I'm like, what the hell? So eventually they kicked their asses out of the place. Yeah, we
Weird way to end the night. but-
Yeah.
we like to go. We like to hang out together. We like to go to shows together. Are
Cool.
we going to this place this weekend?
we're going to this
Oh,
place
yeah.
this
Yep,
weekend.
going to this
Yeah.
place this weekend.
We spend an inordinate amount of time together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, my they're probably closest friends to me and my wife as we have for just about any couple besides our in-laws.
awesome. That's cool. That's very cool. So
Yeah.
I thought of something when you were talking and I lost it a little bit. So like around shows and Sunny Day Real Estate, is there a particular like, so if you wanted to share an album with somebody as to something that like just means a ton to you and reflects like kind of your journey through music, what would that be? Who would that artist be, and what would you say? You need to listen to this.
Good gosh.
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a tough
I like
question.
that question.
So a number of years ago, there was a thing on Facebook where you had to share the top 10 albums that mean to you, like one every day. And that's been coming up in my Facebook memories.
Yeah.
And there's too many. It's because there's certain albums that mean certain things.
Yeah.
I mean, if I just had to whittle it down to one, that's hard.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you do two then.
Okay. Well, all right, fine. My favorite jazz album is Eastern Sounds by Yusef Lateef. I think everybody needs to listen to that one.
Awesome.
Then if I'm gonna go just like one of my favorite albums that just kind of puts everything in perspective, man, that's hard. That's probably I don't know, Keep It Like a Secret from Built to Spill.
Nice.
It's one of those absolute no skip albums for me. And you get the full gamut as far as like emotions in that album.
Cool. Nicholas, how about you?
Well, I mean, if I had to pick one album, um, let's say, oh, fun fact, this is the first CD I ever bought myself.
All right.
U2's Achtung Baby.
Oh,
Uh,
all right.
It's not, and it's not the era I would say I wouldn't most people would call it the classic U2 era. And there's some things about it that sort of make me roll my eyes, mostly Bono. But I keep coming back to that record, and just the production on it is amazing. The guitar tones on it are amazing. The songwriting is just like I find new things to appreciate about it all the time. And I wouldn't necessarily say that I want to play music like that, but it was a big inspirational record for me, and it is something that I continue to enjoy listening to.
Cool.
I would say the Dismemberment Plans Change.
Oh,
I love that album, and I've listened to it for many, many years, as Nicholas and Todd can attest. I think I've bought each of them a copy of the album.
Many years.
I've ordered it from John at least 3 times. Store, of course. And it's just a mind-blowingly wonderful album. It's incredibly sophisticated and extremely fun and whimsical, but the musicianship is just out of this world, and just something I've never heard before. I've never heard any kind of music like it. And I've insisted to like all of my friends that it's an album they have to not just own or have it given to them, but they have to just give themselves over to it, because it's just, and it's for me, like going from not playing an instrument to playing an instrument, that the album entirely changed, because I was so focused on the vocalist who who has such a unique style. And then I started listening to the bass player whose name escapes me. I feel terrible, but he just is mind blowing. Like I never heard it before because I wasn't really listening for it. And now I hear all these parts of this band that I never heard the way that I do now. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Also, the first Bloody Butterflies record.
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking.
It is like
Speaking of
things I would do differently now.
so great.
So John, how about you? What would be an album that you, or two?
I'm an old ass man, so I got to go way back. I would say Susie and the Banshees, Juju, where
Nice.
like one of these albums where like even if you're not into a goth aesthetic, just every one of them has such an original way of playing on it, and especially the guitar playing is just impossible on there. I've tried to watch tutorials on how to play his stuff, and it's just all you got to be kidding. It's almost and super tribal drums on it and flanged out bass, and it's like you can concentrate on any one player on that, and it's great. What they were doing is crazy, and they were all, another, like they said, non-skip album. Like every song on it had something. But that's my old man album.
Awesome.
As far as the question I'd throw back at them too is, who would you see live? And I always tell everyone you have to see some kind of band with John Brannon singing, either Easy Action or Never Approach, because you'll never see a vocalist like that in your life, and like the power that he's got, just tear your face off no matter what he's doing.
Yeah, mine would have to be Torch.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
John and I went and saw them the last time they played the Pyramid Scheme, and that still is. I've seen them probably at least almost 10 times, and each time the only time I ever saw them play not very well, and actually this kind of fits in with that, another band that you have to see, and that was when Horrors opened up for them and Red Fang, and Horrors destroyed everything. They had emanated such power that Torch looked bored afterwards. And Red Fang was outright lame. I couldn't believe.
Oh, crazy.
I might steal Nicholas's answer, but like we were just having this conversation last night about how we both wish we had seen Fugazi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just
Yeah.
seeing live footage,
Yeah.
of which there's a lot. Like it's just so intense.
Oh my gosh. And that
yeah.
music's just so fundamental to so many bands we listen to now also, like
Yeah.
Mets or so many dozens of bands that came out of Fugazi. Oh my gosh.
Mets was a
Yeah,
great,
Mets was a
great
great
band to
show.
see too.
Yeah, Mets was really fun. That was another band field trip that was quite fun.
We did get to see half of Fugazi because we saw Mesette
We saw
Mesthetics,
Mesthetics.
yes.
Yeah. So when we met Joe Laley and
Joe Lally, yeah, and Brandon Kent.
Brandon Canty. Yeah. That was really cool.
Awesome. So now did you so curious about like meeting people that are your like musical idols in person. Did you just like kind of wait and hang out and they walk by and you said, "Hey, how you doing?" Or did, how did that work out?
No, they were all on stage. They were tearing down. You could just they encouraged you to come bug them while they were tearing down.
Very cool.
Yeah. Joe Lally, I told him, I said, I just bought a bass. You have any suggestions? He's like, just keep practicing and just have fun with it. And he was very encouraging.
Extremely encouraging.
Yes.
And very kind.
Very, very, very
Oh
kind.
my gosh, yeah.
And
Just
Brandon
charming.
Canty was an absolute sweetheart.
Yeah.
That's
I got
cool.
to talk to Brendan too. He was really cool.
Yeah, that was a really good show.
They seemed very down to earth.
Yeah.
both of
Yeah.
them.
Absolutely.
And their guitarist in the Mesthetics, Anthony Pirog,
I can't
or
remember.
something like that. Pirog. Number one, fantastic guitarist.
Yep.
Number two, like he's very patient with me. I totally geeked out on him. He had all these killer pedals and he was using them just in such cool ways. And I asked him, about everything, and I was like, oh, I really fanboyed out on him. And he answered all my questions and he was gracious and it was great.
There's nothing better
Yeah.
than that. Just meeting somebody that you get so excited, especially all of us have played music for so long that we're not like ultimate level musicians, but still we've been playing long enough and we know what it's like to meet somebody. And so you have to be kind, you have to be gracious, like you said.
Mhm.
And so when you meet somebody like that, and I'm sure you guys have had it, you get that one excited fan and they're just like, hey, really nice. Yeah, thank you. It's almost overwhelming.
So
And yeah. But Nicholas and I went and saw And You Will Know Us by a Trail of Dead here in Lansing one time, and I freaked out on the drummer. Yeah,
drummer slash guitarist.
Anyways, and I just I even stole one of your drum beats. He's like, yeah, that's great, kid. And he was nice. I ended up having a beer with him later. Jason, that's his name. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
But
That's awesome.
it's great when you can meet that hero of yours and very nice people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frankie
Yeah.
Benally from Quiet Riot, one of my heroes. I've talked to him multiple times, and each time he was just so kind.
That's cool. I'm usually like tongue tied. I don't even know what the fuck to say. Like it just hi, I'm like, and then like afterwards, then I'm like, fuck, I should have asked him this.
Yeah, every time. Why didn't I ask him this?
Yeah. Half the time I don't even think to like, try to take a selfie or something like that. It's like, yeah, I did actually meet this person, It's just
Right.
Like, it's just like
No proof. Prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I
They
started
walk by, you know. It's like
Yeah, that's why I started the thing on my Facebook. I started taking pictures of every drummer I knew or every drummer I met that I liked. That way, it's like they're all grouped together. These are all the drummers I like, and the drummers I've met. This is great.
yeah, because I still wish I had gone and talked to him. I went to get a beer, so I was gonna go see Carcass at the Crowfoot in Pontiac. So I went to this bar that I knew had pretty good beer. Sat at the bar, and I looked over, and they're all sitting, you know, the whole band sitting there, and I'm like, Carcass is here. But then I was like, well, they're having dinner. They want some jackass coming up asking questions or saying hello or whatever. So I just kind of like did side eyes, you know, and then watched them, you know, in concert, and it was, you know, fucking awesome. I'm like, fuck, I could have talked to these guys, but no. So,
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I did that was because the one case where that happened to me was a bunch of us went and saw I think it was Mudhoney, and the opening band was John Spencer, and he had this band playing with him, and I knew the drummer because it was M Sword, who used to play around here, and it was, oh, that's really cool. And they had this guy who was playing a literal gas can, and he had some shock springs, and it was all mic'd. He was just adding noise. And he's sitting at the bar and he's talking to John Brandon. Him and Brandon are buddies. All right. I'll sit next to him. I start talking. I'm like, all right, so what made you want to play the gas can or the gas tanks? And he's like, well, you know, I used to play in bands back in the day, and John knew me, and he needed somebody to go on a tour with him. And you know, it was a lot of fun. And oh, hey, nice to meet you. He was very, very nice. A friend of mine come over, and it's like, yeah, what was it like? It was I think it was Bob Burt from Sonic Youth, wasn't it, John?
Yep, it was Bob Burt from Sonic Youth.
I'm like, wait, it was the drummer from Sonic Youth. I was talking to Bob Burt. I didn't even know. And I was so angry. It was like, I just thought it was some guy playing gas cans and springs, but it's the second drummer from Sonic Youth.
It was that hobo down at the.
Oh, that's awesome. I did that at so I was at Harpo's. This is years ago, and we went to see Sacred Reich, and I can't remember who else was playing. Maybe it was Overkill. I'm not sure. So I was in a band at that time, and our singer was talking to this guy, and he brought him over to say, "Hey, man, you know," he goes, I can't remember what he said, but I think it was loud or something. He goes, and he's like, you know, how you doing to this other guy? And I'm like, you know, hi. And I totally blew the guy off. And then I realized, oh, fuck, that's Wiley, the guitar player for Sacred Reich. And it's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
no.
He's wandering away. He probably thinks I'm an asshole now. Like, oh, man.
I
Crazy.
ran into, well, I was at Bell's Brewery to see the Baseball Project, which is a band that Mike Mills has from REM. And I had just met Peter Buck at a different show like a few months before. So I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Members of REM, this is too much. And Mike Mills, as he's playing for the Baseball Project that night, just kind of meanders into the bar. And I'm just flipping the hell out. I'm like, how am I going to talk to this person? There's no way I can't talk to Mike Mills, for Christ's sake. And so I went up to him and I'm like, and I just kind of looked at him and he just kind of looked at me and I was like, I can't believe you're standing here right now. And he looked at me and he said, where else would I be standing? I was like, shit. And then I just kind of like walked away real fast.
oh man, that's funny.
You think that's bad? One time I screwed up Tom Waits' pizza order. Man, boy, was I embarrassed.
Are you serious?
About it.
Then he wrote a song about it.
Yeah.
That's totally not true. I've
Yeah.
never met Tom Waits. I'd like to, but I don't want to screw up his pizza.
Crazy. Well, guys, thanks so much for being on Fans with Bands. I really appreciate it. And
Thank you for having us.
yeah, hell yeah. And Nicholas, you had a perfect segue because the last question is pineapple or no pineapple on pizza?
I love pineapple on pizza. And the whole chicken barbecue Hawaiian thing.
Yeah.
But I understand if people don't like it. Like I accept people's opinion if they don't like it because I am vehemently against green peppers or within 5 feet of my pizza. So it's fun. Personally, I like it. It's okay if you don't.
Awesome. Jennifer.
I'll eat a piece of Nicholas's pizza that has pineapple on it, but I'll take most of it off.
All right.
That's kind of a half-assed answer, but
I am pro pineapple. One of my wife and I's favorites is a sausage jalapeno and feta.
Oh,
Once in a while, I'll throw pineapple on there too, and that just adds that sweet, spicy.
yeah. Nice. I like that combo there. Wow. Very nice. John, I can't remember. Were you pineapple or no
I'm
pineapple?
completely anti-pineapple on it. It's pie. It's way
I
too wet.
know what I'm bringing John when I come to visit him at work next time.
But I'm with you on green pepper too. I like green pepper in other things, but on pizza it's disgusting.
Oh man.
It kind of ruins the reaction. Doesn't work.
Well, and you can pick it off, but you can still taste it.
Oh yeah, you
It's there.
nasty.
Yeah.
The only solution is fire.
I might have
Awesome. Crazy. Well, thanks.
Well,
again.
Chuck, what's your answer? You can't
Oh,
get out.
mine? Oh, yeah. I'm a no pineapple person. I mean, I probably wouldn't even eat it if it was like somebody gave it to me for free because I just don't like. I'm not. And my wife will tell you, I'm not a sweet and savory person at all. Like the sweet things over here, the savory things over here. The two should not meet. They like like orange chicken or any of that other crap. Like no, give me the savory things. Put the sweet things over here. They have to be walled off.
Honey roasted cashews or peanuts?
See, honestly, I prefer them if they aren't honey roasted. So,
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, just some sea salt, perfect. Yeah. I don't know why, but. All right, guys. Well, thanks again for being on Fancy
Thanks,
Fans.
Chuck.
Yeah,
All right.
thanks so much.
Sure.
I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Bye, John.
Bye.
Thanks so much to Jennifer, Todd, Nicholas, and John for joining me in this episode of Fans with Bands. The people in a Rueful Noise aren't just great musicians, they're great people. We talked about how they came up with the band's name, their music, and current recording project. There isn't a firm date yet for their first full-length album, but we're hoping toward the fall of this year. Stay tuned to their social media for more info. See the show notes for all the details and links. These are tough times for everyone in the creative industries such as music. Your support of live streaming, purchasing music, and merchandise is critical. If you can help out your local artists, please do. If you are in the Michigan area, consider following the Playing in the Detroit Area Tonight Facebook page. It is a place for fans and bands to support each other and share our combined love of music. Thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast service to get each and every episode of Fans with Bands. Spread the word by rating the show and leaving a comment. We want to hear what you think. You can keep in touch by following us on social media. This is a Life in Michigan production. Until next time, be well and kick out the jams.